Have you ever felt like you were being watched? Like something was lurking just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to strike? If not, you're about to experience it now. It started with a feeling of unease that crept up on me when I had least expected it. I would be sitting in my room watching TV, and suddenly I'd get the feeling that someone was watching me. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but the feeling grew stronger with each passing day. I started to hear things in the middle of the night, scratching sounds, whispers that seemed to come from the wall themselves. I tried to tell myself it was just the wind or some kind of animal, but I knew deep down that it was something else entirely. It wasn't until I started seeing things that I knew I wasn't just imagining things. Figures moving in the shadows, faces staring back at me from the darkness. They were always just out of reach, always just out of sight. I tried to ignore it, to go on with my life as if nothing was wrong, but the feeling of being watched never went away. It was always there, lurking in the back of my mind. One night, I woke up to find a figure standing at the foot of my bed. It was tall and thin, with long, spindly fingers and eyes that seemed to glow in the darkness. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't do anything but stare at it as it leaned in closer. And then it spoke. Its voice was a whisper, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It told me things that no one else could know. Secret things I never told anyone. Fears that I buried deep inside. I just tried to scream, to run, but I couldn't move. The figure just stood there watching me with those glowing eyes until finally it vanished into thin air. I thought it was over, that I'd never have to see that figure again, but I was wrong. It followed me everywhere I went, lurking just out of sight. I could feel its eyes on me, feel its breath on the back of my neck. I knew that it was only a matter of time before it came for me again. And then, one day, it did. I was walking home from work when I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned around, expecting to see someone I knew, but there was no one there. Just that figure, that thing, standing in front of me. It didn't speak this time. It just grabbed me and pulled me closer until I was face to face with those glowing eyes, and then it was gone. I never saw it again after that, but the feeling of being watched never went away. Even now, years later, I still feel like something is lurking just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to strike. I've tried to tell myself that it was all just a dream, that it was just my imagination running wild. But deep down, I know that it was something more. Something I can't explain, something that I can't ignore. The thing is, I'm not the only one who's experienced this feeling. There have been others, people who have seen the same figures, heard the same whispers, felt the same unease. Some people say it's just a hallucination, that it's all in our heads, but I know better. I've seen it, felt it, lived it. I've tried to warn others, to tell them to be careful, but most people just brush it off. They think that I'm crazy or that I'm just trying to scare them. But the truth is, I don't need to scare anyone. The figures, the whispers, the feeling of being watched, they're scary enough on their own. I don't know what they are or why they're here. All I know is that they're real and they're not going away anytime soon. So if you ever feel like you're being watched, like something is just lurking out of sight, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off as your imagination, because you never know what might be waiting for you in the darkness. If you have a story to share about your own experiences with the paranormal or the unexplained, I want to hear it. Leave a comment below and let me know what you've seen, heard, or felt. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more bone-chilling stories like this one.